Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today I want you to join me in opening a box of Modern Horizons 2. A lot of people are really excited about this, especially because there's fetches in here and just lots of cool stuff in general. So let's check it out. Okay, so let's get cracking on Modern Horizons 2. Just before I get started, I'm going to let you know that in this upper left-hand corner here, I'm going to actually have a small picture-in-picture so you can see me actually cracking the packs of my Modern Horizons 2 box. And right here in the rest of the field, we're going to get started. I'm going to give you the breakdown of what I got in my Modern Horizons 2 booster box. Okay, so let's take a look at our commons and uncommons first. We got white, we got 41. Blue, we got 39. In the black cards, I got 42. Red clocked in at 45 cards. Green was 48. In my multicolor cards, I got 31. Artifacts, I got about half as many as the rest of them, at about 22. My non-basic lands, I ended up getting about 16, so not too many there. Basic lands, I got 30. And then these art cards, of course, I got 30 as well. And then also all my extra tokens and clues and little extra bits, the mini games, which I think are pretty cool and you should try out. Got 23 of these. But now let's go ahead and break it down just a little further. Let's get rid of these tokens. Let's get rid of these basic lands. Let's take a look at the art cards real quick. Nothing super value in terms of the art cards, but of course the foil, I did get two of the foil, the gold foil signature stamp cards, which these things are pretty cool looking. And while not super expensive, they're neat to have, definitely neat to collect. So, and overall, all of them were just, as usual, these art cards are just really fascinating to thumb through and to have. Pretty cool stuff. Now, all of these cards, what's neat about this whole set is you can actually get some really different stuff in here. You can get these sketch cards where it's actually got notes to the artist about what they want. Like here, intent, the spell shows a creature being damaged by powerful rays of light. So the artists have a rough idea of what they want to do, or to be a mood or something like that. And you can get them pretty frequently in this set. Also, something cool is new cards with the old retro kind of border, and these are sprinkled throughout this whole set. Really neat, really cool. If you used to play back in the day, it's something pretty neat to have in there, especially for me, a lot of nostalgia. Of course, if you're a newer player, I don't know, you may or may not care for the border, but I think it's pretty cool. Also, too, there are some cards that are actually list cards from actually back in the day, and I'll show you one of those. Actually, it's coming up in blue here real quick, and I'll show you that shortly. Just a couple cards, though, I want to focus on white that I think is kind of neat, is Unbounded Potential. It's an instant, and you get a choice. You can either put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures, or you can proliferate, or you can have them both for the entwine cost. Healer's Flock, just a cool 3/3 bird for 3, flying lifelink. Blossom Calm, you gain hexproof until your next turn, you gain 2 life, and it has rebound, which is pretty neat, and it only costs 1. So I think these are just some of the cards to kind of watch out for. Also Lens Flare. Even though it's a 5 cost, it has affinity for artifacts, and affinity is definitely a thing in Modern Horizons 2. So this is pretty cool. Just a few extra cards to kind of watch out for. Let's take a look at blue. So a few of the cards I think you want to watch out for in blue is, first of all, this is my list card, Relearn, and this is the exact art and the exact border from back in the day. For 2 blue and colorless, you can return target instant, interrupt, or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty neat. But some other neat ones is cool stuff like Junk Winder, at least for me. Affinity for tokens. How cool is that? And whenever token enters the battlefield under your control, you can tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls, and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap. Kind of expensive, but since this is a token-heavy set, that's something you might want to use. Counterspell is back. You're definitely going to want to watch for Counterspell. Here you go, guys. Counterspell in Modern. Go for it. We're going to be selling a lot of those, I guarantee. All right, let's see. Let's move on to black, see what other kind of cool stuff we got. Again, I'm just highlighting just some random cool stuff, just at a glance, that I think might be kind of neat for this set. We got Bone Shards. Cost 1, and it's additional cost to cast a spell. You have to sack a creature or discard a card, and you get to destroy a target creature or planeswalker. Only costs 1. Nested Shambler. Squirrels are back. This is going to help squirrels out, and there's a lot of squirrel support in this set. When Nested Shambler dies, you create X tapped 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, where X is Nested Shambler's power. So of course you got to get that up there, but he's a 1/1 for 1 with that cool ability. I think he's open to abuse pretty easy. Torx Canticle for some discard. Bone Shredder from back in the day. I just did a deck tech on one of my own decks, and I love the Bone Shredder, and I really love to see that. Got reprinted in Modern Horizons 2, and it's a fun card. It's great because he comes out into play, and he's a chump blocker that he's a flying chump blocker. He's a 1/1, but when he comes into play, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature, and I never pay his echo cost because in all the decks I run him in, I bring him back from the dead just to block more creatures and to kill creatures. He's a great card. What others kind of neat? Vermingorger is kind of cool, where you can sack a creature because it's a token deck, or there's going to be a lot of token decks. Creatures are going to be easy to come by, so you can easily sacrifice them to gain 2 life, and for have an opponent lose 2 life, and for you to gain 2 life. More bring back. Let's see, more bring back, greed, more draw power for black. Pretty nice. Let's see here. Let's take a look at red. What kind of cool stuff's coming up in red here? See what kind of pulled up. Faithless Salvaging. Discard a card, then draw a card, and it has rebound. It's only 2 cost instant. Goblin Assassin. That's one of the list cards, so that's exactly how it was back in the day. Whenever Goblin Assassin or another goblin comes into play, each player flips a coin, and each player whose coin comes up tails sacrifices a creature. Kind of fun, kind of chancy. Again, retro border on a newer card. Storm, Galvanic Relay. Exile the top card of your library. During your next turn, you may play that card. And there's a couple other Storm cards in this set, so you might want to watch out for that. Oh, I like this, Mind Collapse. Cards like Mind Collapse. If it's your turn, you may sacrifice a mountain rather than pay this spell's mana cost. So if you're tapped out, you can still use this card, and I always like that idea. Captain Ripley Vance, another one kind of watch out for. Whenever you cast your 3rd spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Captain Ripley Vance, then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Kind of unusual, kind of weird, but I definitely think it's something you want to watch out for. Let's see. All right, so let's move on to green. I think green is, well, there's multicolor's got some really good stuff in it, but let's kind of see what we got waiting for us in green. Chatterstorm. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Has Storm. This is going to see a lot of play. All these squirrel cards are going to see a lot of play. Glimmer Baron, again in that retro border. Sacrifice a token. He gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Timeless Witness, basically Eternal Witness in another card. Costs 1 more though. Has something called Eternalize, which I do not know what that ability is at the time of this video, but I'll let it be a surprise for you and let you go check it out. I assume it's probably going to be pretty good. Bushido's back. And here we have a Jade Avenger, which is a Frog Samurai. I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be trying to do Frog Samurais from here on out. I mean, why not? Teenage Mutant Ninja Frogs. Okay, Squirrel Sovereign. This is going to be another really good one. Other squirrels you control get +1/+1. And I believe I got 2 of him. I think I got a foil and then a regular. Squirrel Sanctuary. When Squirrel Sanctuary enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. And whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return Squirrel Sanctuary to its owner's hand. There's another Chatterstorm. Oh, and Scurry Oak. This one also favors squirrels. He has Evolve. So whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature has a greater power or toughness than this creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on Scurry Oak, you may create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. I think this is going to get out of hand pretty quickly, and he is only a 3 cost. So he's definitely going to be another one to watch. Now we're going to crack into our multicolor cards. Again, I didn't get quite as many. I got about 31. That's still pretty good. Sketch cards. Let's see what else. Oh, we got the split cards again. Those are always fun. Terminal Agony. Destroy a target creature. Has a madness cost. Yeah, that's alright. Goblin and Necromancer. A green and a red. Each spell you cast, that's red or green, costs 1 less to cast. And he's a 2/2. Ravenous Squirrel. It's a hybrid card. You can either play black or spend black or green on them. And whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. And for a black or green and a colorless, you can sacrifice an artifact or creature, and then you can gain a life and draw a card. Another really good card right there for squirrels. Draykeeper, 5 cost, 3 colorless, black and a green. When he enters the battlefield, you get 2 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. And for a black and 3 colorless, squirrels you control get +1/+0 and gain menace. And Aethersworn Sphinx, affinity for artifacts, flying and cascades, 4/4. I definitely think this is going to be a card that's going to see a lot of play, without a doubt. And we're coming down to our artifacts here. Some cool ones I think were pretty neat that'll probably see some play, or at least I'd like them to see play, is Ornithopter of Paradise. He's a 2 cost 0/2 with flying, and you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Bottle Golems. When they die, you gain life equal to its power. They're a 3/3 for 4. Kind of takes me back to Bottle Gnomes back in the day, but those were a 3 cost and a 1/3, but similar thing. Monoscallion. Basically, it's a trimmed down version of Triskelion from back in the day, but pretty cool. I like it. Plus, there's a lot of ways to get counters on them now. Sojourner's Companion, affinity for artifacts, and artifact land cycling. And what's really cool is there are artifact lands in this set, and I'll show you shortly. Brainstone. Basically, you're getting brainstorming an artifact. And Zuran Orb. Sacrifice a land, you gain 2 life. I think this is going to be found in a lot of decks. I have had games in the past when this card first came out that Zuran Orb saved the day. So you're definitely going to want to keep a watch of this. At the very least, I think Zuran Orb is going to be some really good trade fodder. Okay, before we get into the rares, we're going to take a look at our non-basic lands. And all these lands, except for Mishra's Factory, are artifact lands. And out of all these non-basic lands, I got 16. And let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were duplicates, which was kind of nice. They're indestructible in addition to being artifact lands. And then I had Power Depot, where it comes into play tapped. You can add a colorless to your mana pool or add 1 mana of any color, but only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. Has modular 1. And Mishra's Factory, of course, you can turn it into a 2/2 assembly worker. Until end of turn, it's still a land, or you can give another assembly worker creature +1/+1 until end of turn. Had a pretty nice mix of lands. I think what's really neat is for a lot of casual players or a lot of people who have played since the beginning, they're probably going to go dig out their ATOGs and rebuild an ATOG deck. Because I know ATOG got a real big resurgence back when Mirrodin came out and the artifact lands first dropped. Saw a lot of decks running ATOGs. And ATOG, all it is he eats artifacts. You sacrifice an artifact to him, he gets +1/+1. So now I think I may even go rebuild my artifact ATOG deck. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the main event. Let's see what kind of value I got out of my rare cards. Here we go. Okay, first up, we have my dollar rares, which includes Upheaval, and that's actually a reprint of an older card. Nykthos Paragon, Magus of the Bridge, Moderation, Braid's Cabal Minion, Brea's Apprentice, and Wonder. So those are my dollar rares right there. Then my $2 rares, I got Bloodbraid Marauder, Peru the Volatile, Necrogoyf, Rise and Shine, Chance Encounter, Usury, Fortune's Flame, Calibrated Blast, Chitter Splitter. So again, a whole nother card for supporting squirrels, and it's just going to get out of control. What is this? Green tap, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Squirrels you control get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put an acorn counter on Chitter Splitter. Wow, I think squirrels are probably broken, but who am I to judge, right? Okay, so let's look at my $3 cards. I got 5. We got Chef's Kiss, Sylvan Anthem, Oh, look, green creatures get +1/+1. Imagine that. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Okay. Oh, foil Necrogorith. Okay, cool. Goblin Bombardment. And Dress Down. $4 cards. I got 3 of them. Squirrel Mob. +1/+1 for each other squirrel on the battlefield. I got Glimpse of Tomorrow. And Solitary Confinement. This is a ridiculously good card. This card, it's got to go up in value. If not, it's just going to be highly sought after no matter what. I just recently played one of my employees with Solitary Confinement, and it was a nightmare. I barely pulled out a win. Okay, and then next up, I've got $5 card. I got Out of Time. For my $6 cards, I got 2, and I got quite a spread of cards. Usually I have a stack of $1 cards, but this time I got a much larger spread of cards that were higher value than just $1 or 2. Soul Talisman. We're at $6 right now. Soul Talisman is $6, and Vindicate. Oh, and I do believe that is a list card right there. Well, is it? Anyways. I might be getting confused with another card. But anyways, they're $6 cards, so very nice. So $7 cards, I only got 1, and that is Suspend. So there's that one. $8 cards, I got 3. Let's see, Rashadan Dockhand. Sanctifier Envec. And Sanctum Weaver, another good card right there for sure. My $10 cards, I got 2. Unmarked Grave. Search your library for a non-legendary card and put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle. Diamond Lion. Discard your hand, sacrifice Diamond Lion, add 3 mana of any one color, activate only as an instant. Makes me think of Lion's Eye Diamond from way back. I got one $11 rare, which is Panharmonicon. $12 rares, I got 1. As you can see, I got a lot of higher dollar cards this time. I really think so. This is Titania, Protector of Argoth, and she is a $12 card. $13 card, I got 1, and that is Gaia's Will, or Gaia's Will, however you say it. $15 cards. I actually got 2 $15 cards, and Sarah's Emissary, and Asmaranamuk Mardikad Astilakakulgadar. Okay, so obviously I knew this was in here, and I didn't practice it ahead of time. So Asmo is something else. One thing's for sure, I think if you can really get down saying it down pat, you're going to impress a lot of people, because it's just fun to say. One of my employees can say it really well, and it's kind of fun to listen to him say it. All right, and this was, let's see, these two right here, these were my $15 cards. And she's pretty noteworthy. I don't even know if I'm going to sell her. I might just keep her just because. All right, and then my $20 card, and this is Scion of Draco. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control. Flying, and each creature you control has Vigilance if it's white, Hexproof if it's blue, Lifelink if it's black, First Strike if it's red, and Trample if it's green. And it's a 4/4. That's pretty neat. And I tell you, just from some of the few cards I've seen, it really seems like that they're encouraging you to play almost like a 5-color artifact deck, it's something. I mean, really, I like it. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, that was and here's another $20 card right here. Actually, I think, oh my bad, I had 2 $20 cards. But this one is Thrasta, Tempest Roar. Costs 3 less to cast for each other spell cast this turn. Oh, that's nice. Well, that's going to be easy with green. Trample Haste. Trample over Planeswalkers. What? This creature can't deal excess combat damage to the controller of the Planeswalker it's attacking. That's nuts. Thrasta Tempest Roar has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Wow, that's crazy. That is out there. There's really some different stuff in this set for sure. Ooh, another tutor. This is a $21 card. It's got Suspend for 2. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. Alright, and then the last of my, well, not quite the last of my rares. Esper Sentinel, $25. When our opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. Okay. Cool. So, now these are kind of my low to mid-range rares, and 20's right about $25, right about the cutoff. Now let's take a look at my higher-end rares and see what I got. Okay, my higher-end rares. So we're going to start at $30. So here we go with the high-end rares, $30. Esper Sentinel, the sketch version of Esper Sentinel. We'll set that right out here. Dakkan, Shadow Slayer, legendary planeswalker, costs a white, a blue, and a black. When Dakkan's Shadow Slayer enters the battlefield with a number of loyalty counters on him equal to the number of lands you control. Oh, interesting. So if you've got 5 lands, he comes out with 5 loyalty counters. If he comes out with, and you have 3 lands in play, he comes out with 3 loyalty counters. Okay. His +1 is Surveil 2, his -3 is Exile target creature, and his ultimate is you may put an artifact card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. Dakkan Shadow Slayer. It'd be interesting to see some people play him. He also is a $30 card. Then we have Yavi Maya, which I think a lot of people are looking forward to. Each land is a forest in addition to its other land types. Legendary land. Ooh, and it doesn't even tap for mana. Wow, I don't think I've seen them put out a legend or a rare land in a long time that didn't actually tap for mana. A $30 card. Couple Dauthi Voidwalkers. Here we got one with the newer border and then one with a retro looking border. He's a 2-cost Dauthi Rogue Shadow. If a card would be put into opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead exile it with a void counter on it. Tap, sacrifice Voidwalker. Choose an exiled card an opponent owns with a void counter on it. You may play it this turn without paying its mana cost. He's a 3/2. Ooh, they brought Shadow back. I think that's neat. I always like shadow creatures and stuff. That's some pretty neat ideas. I really like what they're doing here. They're really touching a lot of different parts of Magic the Gathering. That's pretty cool. They're bringing back a lot of neat stuff. Now here's the buy box promo, and the price is kind of back and forth on this thing. It's anywhere from $30 to $50. And the Sanctum Prelate enters the battlefield, choose a number. Non-creature spells with mana value equal to the chosen number can't be cast. Very interesting. And she's not legendary, so if you were playing a regular modern deck, not necessarily Commander, but you could have 4 of her in your deck, and that's kind of scary for your opponent. And you're people are going to have to start having answers for some of these really unique cards coming out. We'll still put that on a $30 pile, though. But about $30 to $50. So, see, then we have, at $35, we have Bruvac, the Grandiloquent. He's a 3-cost, a blue and 2 colorless. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many cards instead. And he's a 1/4. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I got a mill deck he's going into. He's running $35. Next, for around the $40 price range, we have one of the enemy fetch lands, Arid Mesa. Pay 1 life, sack it to search my library for a mountain or plains card, put it in the battlefield, then shuffle. And then, so that was really cool. And then we have Garth One-Eye, 1 of every color, legendary creature, human wizard. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast a copy. He's a 5/5. And he's, of course, is the sketch version. Gee, I wonder what people are going to choose. Probably Black Lotus, almost all the time. Although I could see Terror, Brain Geyser, Disenchant, Regrowth getting some love. Probably not Shivan Dragon. But It's pretty neat. Oh, and you may cast. Okay, so definitely be interesting to see what people how people use him. But I definitely see that people are definitely going to be using him for the Black Lotus for sure. That's pretty neat. And being the sketch card, he's just a little bit more. And remember, that's running about $40. Or I'm sorry, $35. So then we got two more rares. We got a blue card, Subtlety, which is a 4-cost, 2 blue, 2 colorless. He's an elemental incarnation. He's a 3/3. He's got flash, flying, and when Subtlety enters the battlefield, choose up to one target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of the library, and he has Evoke, which means you exile a blue card from your hand. And again, he's running right about $40. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I stand corrected. I am mistaken. Subtlety is a $40 card, along with Garth. Arid Mesa and Bruvac are my $35 cards. Subtlety and Garth are my $40 cards. So still pretty cool. These are some really nice higher end cards, I tell you. Now we're hitting the $50 cards, which is going to be Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer. He costs 1 red. He's a 2/1. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you get to create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. And then he has something called Dash, which means you can cast the spell for its dash cost, and if you do, it gains haste, and is returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. To me, it sounds like you would always use his dash ability. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. And he's running $50, along with Misty Rainforest. So I did get another of the enemy fetch lands. For 1 life, you can sacrifice Misty Rainforest, search your library for a forest or island card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. Now, I know a lot of people who are cracking boxes of Modern Horizons 2 and are getting play sets of these enemy fetches. I only got 2, but I had a guy buy a pre-release pack, 1 pre-release pack. He got Verdant Catacombs, a Marsh Flats, and a foil Marsh Flats, all in that 1 pre-release kit. So you're going to have some really good chances of getting some fetches. They are definitely out there. Although these 2, I didn't think I was going to get any fetches. These were like in my last 6 packs, I think. So I was kind of sweating. I was like, oh, I'm not going to get any fetches. But nope, sure enough, I still got them. Now, my last rare card is Ignoble Hierarch. And he's 1 green, 0/1. He's a Goblin Shaman. He has Exalted. And you tap him to add black, red, or green to your mana pool. And if you notice, he's basically Noble Hierarch, but ignoble. So he does all the other colors, this is pretty neat. Well, I take it back. I think Noble Hierarch also did green, but doesn't matter. What a cool card. And since he's foil, he's running about $60. I think without the foil, I think he's around 30 or 40. But what a cool card. And he's definitely going to see some play. I think he's definitely going to be, all these cards are going to be seeing play, and he's definitely going to be spiking for sure, I think. I mean, really. And I only got 1 of him. And actually, most of these cards, a lot of these rares, I don't think I've got any duplicates on my rares. Well, Dolphy Voidwalker, I had a duplicate. Esper Sentinel, I had a duplicate. So that's 2. And let's see what else I had in my other rares. Not a lot of duplicates. I had, Necrogoyf wasn't a duplicate. Or it was a duplicate. I'm sorry. Necrogoyf was a duplicate. Yeah, I had a really, really big spread on rares without a lot of duplication, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, but let's get back to the value. So, let's take a look and see exactly how much I got versus how much you could spend on Modern Horizons 2. Okay, so after pausing the video, doing some quick math, it looks like if you bought this at the pre-release price of $269.99, or you weren't able to get it and you had to pay by the after price, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so after doing the math, it turns out that if you bought this box at our price, pre-release price of $269.99, or if you had to pay the slightly higher price after the pre-order price, then you'd be looking at $289.99. And this box, I pulled pretty good. All my rares combined, $742 at the current, what I could find the current pricing for. So I pulled a lot of value out of this box. It was ridiculous. Now, I'm not sure if down the road, as more of these boxes get cracked, I'm not sure if that's going to affect the value of these cards, and it's going to kind of rein it in a little bit, because if there's a bunch of fetches out there all of a sudden, I got a feeling maybe the price might drop a little bit. But traditionally, it seems like no matter what cards get reprinted, sure, there's a little hit on the top end price of them, but they come down by just a little bit, but it's not too much. So I kind of really think like these fetch lands are still going to maintain a fairly stable price. They're not going to be $10 or nothing like that. They're still going to be pretty solid cards. Everybody's going to want them, and in cases, people are going to probably want play sets of them for certain cards, for certain decks. So I still think even down the road, the value is really going to be there for Modern Horizons 2 for sure. I'm really shocked at how much value there is in this. It's pretty impressive. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I certainly hope you get the value out of your box that we did. And honestly, I don't see any reason why not. Even with just the pre-release packs, people are just pulling unbelievable stuff. It's really, really great. All right, well, there we go. Okay, so there's my opening of Modern Horizons 2, and I gotta tell you, what a lot of value in that box. $742 of value out of a $289 box. Pretty impressive. Now, if you consider my box is top tier, maybe I got lucky, maybe I got kind of a high-end box, but I still figure most people are probably going to pull $400 or $500 worth of value out of this thing. I had guys buying pre-release packs, like I mentioned earlier in the video, pulled one pre-release pack. He pulled the Verdict Catacombs, Marsh Flats, and a foil Marsh Flats. Knocked it out of the park. It's great. There's some really good stuff in here. Counterspell's back. Squirrel's getting ridiculous amounts of love. It's going to be nuts. Got some couple cool list cards in there. The sketch art is really awesome. And man, I definitely think it's something you need to get your hands on without a doubt. Buy a pre-release pack if you can find it. Get packs if you can. And if you can spring for it, I think if you're going to buy a box Modern Horizons 2. It's more expensive, but there's so many good things in this box. Plus, I really think you can help offset the cost by trading or selling the stuff that you're just not going to use. Well, I hope you really enjoyed this video today. I know I certainly did, and I was really pleasantly surprised, especially since my Bone Shredder came back. And I think my whole Bone Shredder deck is modern legal. I got to double check, but doesn't matter. I'm enjoying it anyways. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Dave Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, telling you to stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.